volume photographer and owner of J7 Images, based near Chicago. He's an industry leader in mindset and motivation, and is driven by empowering photographers to reach and exceed their potential. He's also an instructor for Summit Photography Workshops, an ambassador for PhotoHag and Miller's Lab, as well as the host of Portrait Mode Podcast. Everyone, give a warm welcome to your speaker, Jake Carr.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming. Who likes to win? Anybody like to win? All right, this is an intimate setting, and this is going to go by real quick. But everybody stand up. We're going to play a little game. I have a degree in Parks and Recreation, and so I like to start off every presentation with a game. This game is called Heads or Tails. Maybe you played it before. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to ask you to make a decision. You're either going to put your hands on your head, or you're going to put your hands on your tail. Now, we are in Vegas, but for legal reasons, please keep your hands on your own tail, not somebody else's. Thank you. Okay, so make your decision. Go ahead. I'm going to flip a coin. Make a decision. Let's go. We got to make a decision. All right, I'm going to flip the coin. Dropped it. All right, here we go. If your hands are on your tail, you are still in the game. If your hands are on your head, have a seat. All right, what do we got? All right, make another decision. You can change your mind. Somebody has to change their mind, or this will be a quick game. All right, here we go. We're making some decisions. This is going to be the quickest game of heads. Thank you. All right, here we go. Heads or tails? If your hands are on your head, you are still in the game. All right, I got two. You two come up here. Come on, Jill.
Oh my God, I never win.
Jill, oh wait, we got three. We'll play with three. We'll play with three. Now look, I am sponsored by Miller's Lab, so look, you three just for coming up here.
Woo!
Here is $100 in wall art, so
Right.
that's good. That worked out perfectly, right?
Totally forgot to place an order last night.
Well, there you go. Use that. Okay, so here we go. So you guys are all three. You're going to have to make a decision here. All right, this is the final round. We may have to go one more round. We'll see what happens. All right.
Oh, eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
All right, she's flipping a coin. All right, here we go. We're flipping a coin. It is heads. We're still in. Sorry, dear. We're good. All right, you guys go back to back, so you can't see who's going to do, and then we'll ask one of you to make a switch. All right, go ahead. Ready? Make your decision. All right, somebody make a different decision. Thank you, Jill. All right, here we go. For all the marbles right here, heads or tails, it is a tail, Mr. Enrique. He gets the win. All right, hey, Enrique, right here, I got a prize for you, buddy. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for playing. Now, that game goes a little bit longer if we have a bunch of people, but I call that a heads or tails decision, right? Decisions are so important in everything that we do. We make thousands of decisions every day. And we make so many of them without even thinking about it, right? My office is on one end of my house. My bathroom is on the other. I drink a lot of water. The kitchen is right in the middle. If there's donuts on the counter, it's very easy for me to walk through, grab a donut about every 10 minutes, because that's how often I have to pee these days, because I'm almost 49. But if I look at that donut, I say heads or tails. Either I'm going to use my head, I'm going to walk past that donut, or my tail's going to get bigger, okay? Arguing with your wife, your spouse, your significant other, having that conversation, use your head and think about what you're going to say, or if it's like my wife, she's going to send me back with my tail between my legs. Some of you might have needed to get out of the casino or the bar, got your tail out of the bar a little bit earlier last night, and your head wouldn't hurt so bad today. So when you go to make decisions, decisions will stack up over time, right? We're kind of a result, and where we are in our business, where we are in life, are a result of all of our decisions. And they stack up, and even the littlest things can make a big difference over time. So, heads or tails. You go to make these decisions, start talking to yourself. Just say heads or tails. The other thing about making that decision when you say heads or tails, was that fun? Was that a good time when we were thinking heads or tails? We were having a good time in here. We weren't distracted. We weren't looking at our phones, that kind of thing. Make your decisions from a place of joy. Oh my God, I got to make a decision. Okay? Make it from a place of joy. Change your physiology. Do something fun. Laugh. Do something. Watch a funny YouTube. Watch a funny video before you make that decision sometimes, and just make that heads or tails decision. I do take personal development very seriously. I am a member of the RHA Syndicate. I pay for coaching. One of my coaches is Ed Milet. He's one of the #1 motivational speakers in the United States today. Ed Milet loves to say, you are one decision away from drastically changing your life. One decision away. It's one phone call. It's one account. It's one customer. It's one choice that you make to go do something that maybe you didn't think you were prepared for. So as we go through the presentation today, I'm going to tell you about 3 decisions that I've made that have led me to be with you today. First decision, I was not always a photographer. I was a youth football referee. Thank you much. You understand. Every day I'm in Illinois, so when Illinois football season starts, it's 100 degrees, and by the end, it's snowing, right? And so I'd walk on that field every Saturday and Sunday. I'd walk off with some cash. It was good money. I'd blow my whistle. I'd throw my flag, have fun with the kids, but I'd get yelled at by grandmas, and at least once a year, I would stop a drunk dad from rushing onto the field to come attack one of us. Usually it was my buddy. I made good calls. And I just started taking pictures, and the guy who ran the league, he came to me and he said, "You have a camera, right?" "Yeah." "You take pictures, right?" "Yeah." "Well, our photographer bailed next week, and you could do team pictures, right?" "Right on." And suddenly I was in volume photography by accident. And I think sometimes when you're on the right path, the universe will collide and it will put you in places that you didn't know you needed to be. We did that volume photography that Saturday. I did the pictures in the morning. I refereed in the afternoon. I made way more money in volume photography than I ever made officiating. And we were off. And I very rarely go officiate now. So that was the first decision I made to get in this business. To be honest with you, there's not a big crowd in this room. I don't have a great following. I was not supposed to speak at SPAC. Lisa Malice, the founder of Photo Day, came to me. She's like, "You're coming to SPAC. I'm going to have you shoot in the booth and talk about Photo Day and stuff." She goes, you do some speaking, right?" "Yeah." "You can give a presentation on referrals, right?" "Yeah, I can do that." "Right on." Sometimes people have more confidence in you than maybe you have at the moment, but don't pass up that opportunity to do some stuff. So super excited to be with you. We are going to talk about referrals today. We will get into the meat of this. And I'm going to approach referrals not from this magic button that you can press, this money thing or this program or whatever. I'm going to talk about some things that you do that you may already be doing or that you can advance in your business, and so that when you walk out of here, you have some ideas of how to get better. So as you take notes, I will give a QR code at the end. I will send you this presentation. So do not take notes on my presentation. I want you thinking about, hey, how can I apply this to my business? How can I put this in effect with what we do? Because all of us are on different levels, right? We're not all making millions of dollars in volume. Some of us are in small towns, some are in other communities. We all have different levels of business. So I want you to put these things in perspective as of your own business. Referrals aren't given, referrals are earned. Turn to your neighbor and just tell them, you got to do the work. Thank you. You got to do the work, right? We think, oh, you give a referral. Oh, somebody gave you a referral. No, you earned it. You did it. My company's called J7. I like to think 7's my favorite number, but we're here in Vegas. And so in Vegas, you have to have 3 7s to get a win. So everything I'm going to talk today is going to be in 3s. I'm going to talk about experience. I'm going to talk about service. I'm going to talk about relationships. And those are the 3 things. And I can guarantee you, anybody ever been to the photo shoot? You do the photo shoot, you walk off, and people say, oh, I can't wait to see the pictures. They're going to be great. They've never seen the back of the camera. They've never seen anything that you've done, but they know that the pictures are going to be great. It's because you nailed one of these 3 things, or maybe all of them. Because you made that impression before you even went home to edit that the pictures are great. You could have messed that up. You could have blown everybody out or whatever, but they think that it's going to be great because you've done these things right. That's half the battle when it comes to this industry. All right, so let's talk about experience. Embrace your audience. What do I mean by embrace your audience? Last week I was at a shoot, brand new travel team for us, came by way of referral, which was exciting. And I said, well, I said, we're excited to be here. Oh, we're so glad you're here. Let me tell you about the gal last year. Do you ever get those stories? You love those stories? Some people set the bar really low for us, right, to advance. And I know you set the bar high because you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be spending time away from your families, away from your business, if you weren't committed to improving your business. She came in and she blocked all the parents out of the room and she took the kids and she wouldn't let anybody in. I mean, come on. I get it. Parents are going to stand. Helicopter Helen, the mom who's filming every one of Johnny's steps for his first 5 years, is going to be behind you with her iPhone filming his T-ball picture. And guess what? I'm okay with that. Because I wear a big logo on the back of my shirt, so when she puts that video on Facebook, they see me too. And I'm going to lean into it. And when Johnny makes a funny face and I get that picture, I'm going to say, Johnny, it's going to show up in 18 years. It's going to show up on your wedding video. And make it a moment for them. Because I would much rather have Helen the helicopter parent on my side than to have her against me. Because if I piss off Helen, she's going to tell 10 people. If I make her happy, she'll tell 2. Okay? So that's what I mean by embrace your audience. We do something with our team pictures. We like the traditional team pictures. We do about 80-20. Still do traditional stuff, and we may have busy days and we're not always perfectly on time. We try to stay on time. You know how picture day is, and parents are all frazzled and they're worried, and then you got to wait in line for a little bit and it's hot, that kind of thing. We do something, I call it traditional, tough, flex, funny. Traditional, right? Got your coaches in it. Tough, make a game face, make a funny face, fold the arms. And what happened was I used to go from fold your arms to funny, but I would tell kids to make a funny face and they wouldn't let go of their arms. So we added flex. Okay, so now we go from here, now we go to flex, and then we go to funny. And I've got a crowd. I've almost have paparazzi of moms with iPhones back behind us who maybe by the time they leave there, they're posting that picture on Facebook, but I don't care because everybody is leaving there happy. Everybody's leaving there with a smile on the face. The kids are fist bumping, the kids are high-fiving, that kind of thing. You leave them with a better story to tell, right? It's not just, oh, picture day sucked. Oh my gosh, did you see the face Johnny made? Oh my gosh, did you see him flex? Those are the stories you can leave. That's how you embrace your audience, and you use your audience to do it. It's not always your lead guy. It's not always your rep, your ambassador that's going to tell you, that's going to refer to you. It might be that parent who's got a kid on an older kid's team or whatever, and they see what you do, and they go off and tell somebody else. Connect, create, repeat. We all love to say anybody with a camera is a photographer, right? We all get frustrated. Oh my gosh, anybody with a camera is a photographer. That's BS. To be a photographer, you have to be able to connect to your subject before you ever take a picture. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. It's a small room, but I want you to connect with someone you haven't met. And I'll give you a little bit of time. I'm going to take a drink. All right, time's up. What do we get? The average of 17 seconds, 20 seconds to take a volume picture, right? Okay. What did you do to connect, Sabrina?
I talked to the person behind me, asked her name, found out where she was from.
Asked her name, where she's from. Anybody else? What did you guys do over here?
I met Joe from Northern Illinois.
You met Joe from Illinois. How did you introduce him? How did you connect with him?
Just said hello.
You said hello.
Hey, where are you from? Nice to meet you.
Fantastic. Awesome. What did we use? Most of you, almost 90% of you in this room, you use first names to connect. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what your system is. But if you can find a way to get a child's first name in front of your photographer and in front of your posers, it will improve what you do. Because, yeah.
I was going to suggest what we do is we have an end tag system, so everyone's needs to put on a code anyway.
Yeah.
So that gets handed to the kid hands that to the photographer. First thing the photographer does for us is verify the name and get to know the kid a little bit. That only takes 10 to 15 seconds to ask them how their day is going. You have a game today, are you excited, for your game? Whatever it is that they do to break the ice with that kid.
Amen, brother. You got to break the ice. So I use names. If I don't have names, I'm a shoe guy. I love shoes. Hey, dude, nice shoes. Yeah, I love your shoes. If I've got a gal walking up, maybe at school, maybe you're doing school portraits or whatever, and you're trying to break a girl down, if she's got a chain, hey, do you want your chain in or out? Oh, man, that chain's beautiful. That's really great. Like, whatever you can do in that moment to make them feel better and that comfortable in that 5 seconds that you got that first impression, if you're saying something nice to them, if you're saying the sweetest sound in the English language to them, which is their first name, that makes all the difference in the world. And instantly you broke them down, and now you can get that authentic picture that mom and dad are going to love. Hey, that really looks like Junior. It's not something stiff. It's not something like that. So that's what I mean when I say connect, create, repeat. We talked yesterday, we were in Jay's thing, and we were talking about how do you be artistic and also be fast. One of the things that we love to do, I just look for gloves. I look for anything that's different, anything that's set out. I don't know if anybody's done Little League just yet. or done any travel teams yet, the pencil bat, you're going to see more pencil bats this year than you've ever seen in your life. Somehow that company got it and everybody got one for Christmas. It looks like a pencil. It's hilarious. It looks great in pictures. But you're going to see those trends. You're going to see those things that happen. So you connect, you create, you repeat. You do it over and over and over again. And guess what? If you're doing 40 teams, the very first kid that you photograph better be the same as the very last kid you photograph. And that's hard to have that energy all throughout the day, but that last kid deserves every bit of what you have as the beginning kid. I will tell you, if I'm doing a travel team, the first 2 kids, I'll tell them to circle back in line. Because usually if I'm doing a travel team, somebody will figure out something or some kind of pose that they really like, and then you'll get through the kids, and those first 2 guys, maybe you didn't do it. You'll figure out things as you go. And usually those first 2 are like the ambassadors' kids, or that person who set up the shoot. So I usually tell those guys to go around and circle back through, especially travel teams or where we have time. So, all right, the next one. I call it awesome by association. Okay, my wife says this is your excuse to buy stuff. Okay, awesome by association simply means I'm going to associate myself with different types of logos. Okay, these are well-known brands. Everybody who walks into a sporting shoot is going to know these 3 brands. Okay, I wear Nike shoes. I put Nike on my gear. They see the swoosh. It instantly validates you. I use Yeti buckets to sit on and to carry my gear. Dads, coaches, they all love Yeti. All right, my wife says that's an excuse to buy Yeti coolers. I don't care. We can tax deduct them somehow. I'm not a CPA. Don't get yourself in trouble, but it'll work. Gatorade. You can go to Gatorade's site and have custom towels made with your logo on them. Very inexpensive. But now you got Gatorade towels laying around, and Gatorade is so associated with those sports. So find some ways to associate yourself with these logos. I love this picture. It's an athlete. He's got a Nike on his hat. He's got Rawlings here. He's got a Marucci bat. Anybody know this logo? Who knows Bruce Bolt? Anybody know Bruce Bolt? Okay. Let me tell you about Bruce Bolt. Last year, I started seeing these kids. I see this Bolt. I'm like, man, what is the deal with this? I'm seeing it everywhere. And finally, I asked this 10-year-old, I said, what's the deal with your gloves? He said, oh, dude, they're the best thing ever. He's like, this kid started the company with his dad, and they make these gloves, and they're so much more durable than every other thing. Bruce Bolt figured out how to make a story. He was an 18-year-old kid who created this brand, and he figured out that everybody buying Nike, Under Armour, all these batting gloves, halfway through the season, they're ruined, right? And you got to buy new. That's what Nike and those companies want to do. Bruce Bolt, these are basically like those gloves that your grandpa used to have, right? That's basically what these things are, and now we see them everywhere. The best story wins sometimes. These are expensive. They're $100 a pair, and parents buy them like crazy, and I see them everywhere now. But these are the kind of things you'll see. Yeah.
But on that, one thing that we've done, and I give credit to my husband because he's kind of always thinking these things. He's a marketing guy, but when we do rec league or travel ball, anything like that, we, of course, the Bo Jackson pose with the bat behind the shoulders.
Absolutely.
We always turn it where the words are the right way up.
Amen.
Where you see Cat 10 or
Amen.
Gucci or whatever that bat is, because we know how much money the parents spend on that.
Amen.
And we always make sure that's right there, where they can see it. It makes them, and the parents love it. The kid doesn't know, well, the travel ball kids know, but rec league. And the other thing we did is we went to Louisville last year for imaging and went and did a tour of the bat.
Oh, yeah.
And we did, we had custom bats made with our company name on them. We did the old school wooden bats, and the kids loved the pose.
You're speaking my language, girl. We have custom bats that we do. I work with a company called Warstick. We do some custom ones through them. So just those little touches, those little things you can do. That whole bat thing, it makes a difference to me. It's always, and I just take the bat, I flip it for the kid. If you have posers or whatever, just make sure the logos are always showing. Because parents pay $350 for that bat, okay? So, and the kid with a good bat usually equals the parents with a lot of money. So make sure that that's a detail and make sure that you make that connection. My favorite logo on this kid's jersey, and I see it on about 90% of the jerseys of the kids that I do, is this one right here. I kind of treat the American flag a little bit like Tabasco sauce. I put it on everything. I put it on my senior banners. I put it on my magnets. I put it on my memory mates. It's down in the corner. I have 2 sons that are in the United States Marines. We are very patriotic in our house, and I just feel like, especially with sports, man, that's a connection that you can make. And you can associate yourself with this, and you can associate yourself with anything. So, All right, number 2, second decision time. 2022, I was at a conference called Sync. Some of you have been there. I spoke for the first time, and a photographer friend that I knew came up and he told me about a service. He told me about the service. He's like, dude, you got to see this. He's like, this is an amazing service. You can sell your pictures online. It's so cool. And it came from this trusted source. It was a referral, right? I said, no, I'm a Miller's Lab guy. I've been with Miller's Lab since the very beginning, since that very first day when I did that shoot, that volume shoot. I said, oh, I'm a Miller's Lab guy. I'm here speaking for Miller's. I'm an ambassador. And he said, no, you can use this service with Miller's. I was like, okay, let's go talk. And that's when I decided to go with Photo Day. So I am sponsored by Photo Day. They did bring me here today. I will be in the booth later. I would love to talk to you about that transition. I know that transition and that decision to go from paper order forms. My wife hated it. She loves cash. When you go from this to this, it's a big decision, but that has transformed what we do. It has changed our life. I've almost, in 18 months, literally doubled our revenue, and I know where our revenue is coming from. If you were in Emily's presentation earlier, she talked about the data. We never had data before. I got boxes upon boxes of paper order forms in my basement, right? Now you have data, you have customer service, you have responses, you have all sorts of tools that are built into that system that you just pay your fee for, and I'd love to talk to you more, and I'll be at the booth, okay? Let's talk about service, okay? Customer service, in my opinion, is very easy, but not everybody gets it. Number one thing you gotta do is you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention to everything that's going on around, especially when you're at that photo shoot. You gotta kind of have, when you're an official, they say don't have rabbit ears because you'll hear everything that's in the stands. Like you're running up and down the football field, you'll hear all these people, oh, it's holding, it's this, it's this. When you're at a photo shoot, I think you do have to have rabbit ears. Like you do have to understand if helicopter Helen is getting out of trouble or she's getting out of hand, right? Or if she's upset about something. Yes, we have staffs that can train it. We have staffs that can handle certain things, but just identify things. The other day I was shooting a high school and the dance team went through and then the basketball players went through and I could see 2 girls from the dance team they were kind of standing off to my shoulder, right? I got done with the basketball, I turned to them, I said, you guys want to do another shot, right? And they said, yeah. Like you just know why they're standing. They're afraid to ask you. They're afraid to do this. You want to do another shot, right? She said, yeah, can I do my jump? She went and did her jump and boom, nailed it right there. And she, we showed her the back of the camera, happy as can be. So like you can make these moments just by paying attention, okay? Paying attention to your customers, paying attention to your emails, being quick response, putting in processes in place. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget the way you made them feel. So I think that's the biggest key to customer service. Make people feel important, make people feel valued, pay attention to them, that kind of thing. Even your kids, even the kids that are there, even the athletes that are there, make them feel important when you're there, and that's great service. Encourage communication. I tell my kids all the time, if I don't know about a problem, how in the world can I fix it, right? Any parents in here? We got parents in here, right? If your kids don't tell you that there's an issue, how can you fix it? If your clients don't tell you that they got their 8x10 and it was cropped wrong, whether it's your fault or theirs or whatever, if they don't tell you about it, how can you fix it? You find out a year later that, well, last year our picture was it. No. Encourage communication. Make sure that you have customer service information. Make sure you have info available. Make sure your league people know where to contact, where to go to make that so that you can make a problem. So you can solve problems, right? Most of the time, if you have a disgruntled customer and you solve their problem, you've turned them, you've flipped them, right? And now they're telling everybody, well, I had this issue, but they fixed it. And now you've turned somebody in from somebody who didn't like you to somebody who will like you. Be unreasonable. Okay, it is okay to be unreasonable. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about my garbage guy. You're like, okay, what's a garbage guy have to do with Photo Day? But my garbage guy, I got a new one. His name's Shane. And how do I know this? Because I pay attention to my garbage guys, my mailman, those guys, they get Christmas gifts. I pay attention to those things because they're important. If your stuff doesn't get emptied on garbage day, it leads to just a disaster. So Shane comes in, and he came really early in the morning one day, and I was up late editing, and I didn't get my trash out to the curb. I go out, and I play golf in the summer, and so I went to the gas station before my golf match, and I saw Shane. I said, hey, you're the new guy, right? And he said, yeah. I said, are you always going to come at 6 in the morning? He's like, well, I don't know. I said, maybe. I said, I missed you this morning. He said, oh, you did? He's like, what's your address? Told him what my address was. he said, I'll come by before the end of the day, I'll pick it up for you. So I go and I play my 9 holes of golf. I get home, because I haven't put the garbage out yet. There's my empty garbage can right there on the ground, or right there in front of my house. Shane went around my house, got my garbage can, brought it to the front, and emptied it. Amazing. Shane got a nice Christmas gift. 2 weeks ago, snow, cold, up late editing, didn't get the trash out. I hear the garbage truck coming down the road, spring out of bed, I'm in my pajamas, put my boots on, and who do I meet in my backyard? Shane. Shane wasn't only grabbing my garbage, he was grabbing my recycle because it was recycle day. Dude, he has no skin in the game, but that is unreasonable customer service. There's no reason that he has to do that. There's some times where you're going to have to do something that to the average person is going to sound unreasonable. But I will tell you, Photo Day, Millers, the reason I love them and the reason they're so good at what they do unreasonable things. There are several stories that I can tell you about Millers and Photo Day where they've done unreasonable feats of customer service, and those are important. So think about that in your business and how you can do that. So I mentioned I pay a lot of attention to coaching, to personal development. I just completed a certification. I am a certified business coach, life mindset development coach. This is a guy by the name of Ben Newman. And he says, don't let your feelings dictate how you show up. Prioritize the standard over your feelings. The standard is what sets the tone, builds a culture, and drives success. Who was in Emily's presentation? Okay, so a couple of you. Emily talked about making 10 phone calls a day. Here's how this works. Okay, Emily's standard is to make 10, we call them POCs, 10 points of contact a day. If Emily calls the first person and she books a 400-person league, she can't say, woo, I'm done for the day, this is awesome. You have to continue to call the next 9 people. If that is your standard, then you can't let your feelings get in the way. If your standard is you're going to get up and you're going to work out every morning, it doesn't matter that you don't feel like getting up. When the alarm goes off, you put the standard over your feelings. This right here, these 2 words and this is the reason Alabama football has national championships. Because Ben Newman was the mindset coach for all 3 of Alabama's recent national championships. I joked with him the other day, I said, you might want to go back. Alabama's a little bit struggling. But standard over feelings. If you always use a 3-light setup and you're by yourself because your assistant called in sick, you still do the 3-light setup because that's your style and that's when it go. I don't care if it's just a T-ball team and there's only 12 people. I don't care if there's only 20 people in the room. You still give the talk that you're going to give. All right? You still do what you're going to do because that is your standard. Put your standard over your feelings. All right, let's talk about relationships. Attitude of gratitude. Do you know you cannot be thankful and stressed at the same time? Anybody know that? You cannot be thankful and stressed at the same time. Next time you get stressed, look at that situation and go, man, I'm thankful for having this situation. I'm thankful that I'm double booked. I'm thankful that I've got so much business I don't know what to do. I'm thankful that I have this problem and that I get to solve it. Just take a time out, heads or tails, right? Just take a time out and say, hey man, I'm thankful for this moment. And you can't be thankful and stressed at the same time. It's a great tool. Attitude of gratitude, thank your customers, thank your people, thank everybody that you come in contact with. There's a janitor at the school, make sure he's thankful. Just have that attitude of gratitude all the time, and it'll make a difference in the relationships and the people that you do. Let me go back. Oh, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? Just make sure people know. You don't have to always be performed, but you always have to be present with people. Just make sure people know how much you care, how much you appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you for being here today. I know there's a lot of decisions. There's AI. There's all these other amazing things that are going on in this presentation, but I appreciate that everybody's here. And you're here for a reason. Friends are greater than raving fans. I used to think raving fans are great. There was a book by Ken Blanchard a long time ago that was about raving fans, and you got to have these people who are fanatical about your business. But I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. And if I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan and you're a Green Bay Packers fan, what's your team? Steelers. You're a Steelers fan? Steelers? Okay, I'm not going to convince you to become a Steelers fan because you've got your own stuff. But if you're my friend, Jill, if you're my friend and I need you to, I want you to tell people nice things about my business, or I want you to tell how great your experience was, it's much better. So look to make friends. Fans are great for products and that kind of thing. We're offering a service. Okay, we're providing a service to people. Make sure that you make friends along the way. All right? All the folks with Miller's, the folks with Photo Day, I can truly say that they're friends. And they would do anything for anybody. That's what the friends will do as well. Culture and community. Embrace your culture and community. Culture if you've got a staff of people, that culture is up to you. Make sure your people are all on the same page. If you have values, make sure they know what those values are. We have an awesome pledge that we put on our website. It's all these things that we promise that we're going to do at your photo day and that kind of thing. So have some kind of value system. If you don't have a value system in place, work on one, steal from others, look at what other people do, and put some values in place, and lean on those whenever you hire people, whenever you scale. All right? And hold yourself accountable to those. Community, lean into this community. This is fantastic. Hasn't it been nice to spend time with people who think the same way that you do? I've had great conversations. Like, you are not on an island, right? Sometimes we think, like, you're in Illinois, right? We're in Illinois, and we're in small towns, and we're in these places. We're not all by ourselves. There's a lot of people throughout the country that think the same way we do. So lean on those resources, the networks, the connections that you made. Well, you guys have a group of 7 people. Where's the other 5? They should have showed up. But right, lean on people, lean on myself. I'm going to give you my contact info. Lean on me. You're having a tough day. You're struggling. You're trying to figure this out. Lean on people and in that community to help that. I was in the gym this morning, and I live in a small town, and usually when I go to the gym, like, there's nobody else there. And it's kind of like just you and yourself. It was awesome to be in the gym, and there's like people everywhere, and this person's working out, and this guy. And has anybody been in the gym in the mornings? Anybody seen the dancing bike guy? Holy smokes. If you even just if you walk by the fitness center about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and you got to see the dancing bike guy, because this guy is like pedaling, and he is just moving and shaking. Man, it just made me smile. So culture and community, lean into that. All right, let's go. All right, decision number 3. In life, you don't soar to the level of your hopes and dreams. You stay stuck at the level of your self-worth. This brings me to number 3. I have always struggled with self-worth, with understanding that you've done enough in your life to go speak to other people and tell them about it. I've always been I've soaked up all this personal development stuff. But up until I made one decision, another decision I'll tell you about, I did not go out and tell people and share that with the world. I believe in something I call it portrait mode. I call it the portrait mode movement. I believe that every one of you in here deserves to have a current portrait, hung on the wall, in your studio, in your office, wherever you do work. Okay? We're photographers. There's no excuse. We have the means, right? Okay? You're all like, oh, I'm better behind the camera. I don't want to be in front of it. I want you in front of the camera. No one is going to hang your portrait for you. But you are a business owner. You are growing your business. You're a mom. You're a daughter. You're a friend. You are all these things, and you deserve to be in a portrait. And when I did this, and I had this idea and this concept, I had my portrait taken. I hung it on the wall, and there's something magical that happens when you hang a portrait on the wall, right? Some of you sell it all the time. Right, you sell that investment, you sell it to if you do family portraits, you guys are really good at selling that. You're really good at showing the value of it. Put your own portrait on the wall. It doesn't cost very much. And then once you do that, think about this. Share that with your friends. Share that with the other people, the other business owners, the other people that you have in your community. Hey, you know what I did? I put my portrait on the wall. You should do a portrait session. Think about the business opportunities there are. We're all doing youth sports, and we got our weekends and our evenings filled. What about during the day? What about adults? Because what do we make our money off of, right? Showing the progression every year, every sport, school, all the time, from kindergarten, preschool, all the way up to seniors. We're getting our portrait taken every year, right? Mom's buying that. Mom's putting that on the fridge. Kids see it. It builds confidence. We need to get some of that for ourselves. After you graduate college or whatever, you never take your portrait unless you're like going to a wedding or something like that. Have your portrait taken and hang it on the wall and see what it unlocks. That's the book that I'm writing. That's the mission that I have. I have a mission of 7 million people putting their portrait on the wall. And I can't do that all by myself. I need you and you and you to share that message and to refer others and to talk about that. And man, it may look like 20 people today, but I think it'll grow. And I believe in it. I'm crazy enough. Maybe a little unreasonable. Secret of portrait mode, I'll give you one secret because you guys are here. I want you all to take out your phone right now. I want you to switch it into portrait mode. Most of you have it. Most of you have selfie portrait mode now on the iPhone. And I want you to just snap a portrait mode picture of yourself in portrait mode. Oh my gosh, come on, Dawn. Get the angle right, girl. Everybody got it? What does portrait mode do when you take a picture? Blurs the background, right? It puts it at 2.8 for those technical folks. Okay, it blurs out the background, blurs out everything around it. Look at that picture. Look at that picture and think about all the things that you've accomplished. So you're having a moment of doubt, you're having a moment of frustration, you don't believe that you can go make those phone calls, you don't believe you can go do what you do. Look at that picture and blur out all the noise, all the naysayers, and understand that you have done a ton of stuff in your life. You have come this far, you're committed to your business, you have done it, and you can do more. And you can handle whatever it is that you're about to walk into. So you're in a tough situation, you're getting ready to do a presentation, you're getting ready to go in to do a shoot that you're not so sure about, take a picture. Take it in portrait mode. Save that moment. Have it right there. You guys all have that moment right now. So when you leave here and you're energized and you've got this whole notebook of stuff, let me tell you what's going to happen in this notebook. Okay? You're going to go home, all right? And some of you have been here for like 5 days, right? And if your spouse isn't here, you're going to go home and your partner's going to be like, you've been in Vegas for 5 days, you got to wash the dishes. Right? So you got to do some stuff. Your dog's going to want to go for a walk. Your pets are going to want to see you. Your kids are going to be excited. They want to hear about your event. And that's going to be on Sunday. Monday, you got a photo shoot. Tuesday, you got a photo shoot. Next thing you know, you are right back in to what you were doing before you got here. And this notebook is going to sit on the shelf. Okay? And all of these ideas and all of this energy that you have gained while you've been here, that you paid to be here, is going to just sit there. What I want you to do when you're scrolling through and you're looking for that picture that you want to show, you know, oh man, I got this picture, I want to show you this, and you see that portrait that you just took, I want you to think about this notebook. I want you to think about your time here. I want you to think about this presentation and the other presentation and the other one, and all those ideas that you had that are in this notebook. And I want you to do something about it. Open it up. Schedule some time on your calendar. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes to focus on something new. Hey, maybe I learned this. I want to focus on this because what you have to focus on it. You have to make time for it. Otherwise, we will just continue to do the same thing. My wife loves to say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So as you scroll through and you see that portrait, I want you to think about this event. I want you to think about all the things you've done, the people you've met, the sessions you've been through, that time standing on the bleachers and almost dying when you cheated death, right? And I want you to think about that, and I want you to use that to your advantage. The magic you're looking for is in the work that you have been avoiding. I love that quote. I'm going to leave you with one more story today. And I work with a school called Livingston County Special Services. And I love this shoot. Photo day, when we went to photo day, we used to always do sports. We went to photo day, allowed us to do schools. And we go into Livingston County, and this was 2023, and I meet Brody. And things are going pretty well, and Brody comes in, and Brody puts his hands over his ears, and he says, this is too hard, I've got to get out of here. This is too hard, I've got to get out of here. Over and over again. And we turn lights off, and the teachers who are saints at those schools showed Brody all of the evidence of all of his friends and his classmates who had taken their picture. We showed him the back of the camera. We showed him the evidence that it was possible. Here's what I know. Every one of you in here knows exactly what you need to do to go to the next level. But you tell yourself it's too hard. It's too hard. I got to get out of here. It's too hard. I can't do this. Right? You've got this inner Brody in your brain. It's too hard. Presentation, or the day goes on, Brody's there, and finally we kind of give up, and I say, hey, Brody, let's let Brody go to lunch. We'll come back. We'll come back, and we'll get Brody's picture at the end. End of the day, go back to get Brody. He's gone. Gone for the day. My chance to get his fourth grade picture is over. Because you're going to tell yourself it's too hard, it's too hard, it's too hard, and that opportunity is going to go. The opportunity of a lifetime has to be taken advantage of in the lifetime. The opportunity of a life. Oh my God, I messed this up. Please hold. Let me get my notebook out because I wrote it down. The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. You're going to push it off. You're going to push it off, and the opportunity is going to go away. I could have made the decision to tell the youth football guy, no, we can't do that. It's too hard, right? I could have told Lisa, no, it's too hard. I can't prepare for a speech. What are you talking about? It's too hard. Guys, don't pass up. It's not too hard. There's evidence all around you. There's people in this room that have done what you've done. There's people that you've seen speak that have done what you want to do. Anything is possible. Just go after it. Just do it. Suck it up, make the phone calls, and do the hard things. Now, there's amazing stories. Sometimes you get redemption, and I did not want to show any videos in my presentation, but if you go to the Photo Day YouTube and you watch Portrait Mode Part 1, you can see how the Brody story ends. And I'd love for you guys to do that. Sometimes the difference between winning and losing is minimal. Sometimes it's as simple as eliminating something like the apostrophe T. What do I mean by that? Because you can tell yourself, I can't, right? You tell yourself I can't, or you can eliminate that and say I can. Eliminate the apostrophe T. And I will tell you, when you make the decision to go from I can't to I can, the story that you're going to tell is going to go from I won't get that done. I won't be able to do that. It's going to go from I won't to I won. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.